Hey Cougs, Matthew Stell here, and today I have the privilege to sit down with the 53rd Student Body President of the University of Houston, Mr. Shane Smith. Shane, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for sitting down with me. I know you're a busy man, but thank you for just taking a little time out of your schedule to come and chat.
Well, thank you.
Shane, tell us who you are. Who is President Shane Smith?
I'm an economics student. This is my third year at UH. Came here after looking at every single college in the country, narrowing that down to 300 and grading those 300 and applying to 25 schools. I'm an out-of-state student, and I love UH and wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
That's great. Now, see, you have your guitar here. Are you a guitarist, a musician, or that's one of your hobbies?
Yeah, music is a big thing for me. I play guitar, piano, I sing. My mom teaches singing, so it's kind of a family tradition.
School family.
Yeah.
Great. Now, you ran on the Better Food, Better Wi-Fi, Better Parking platform, or the party. What can we expect from your administration due to those three main characteristics of your party's platform?
Sure. Obviously we have been working already trying to get those things going with the better food. To me it's about better meeting the needs of our students that eat on campus. For a long time the model around the country was to have one or two main dining halls, and students would primarily eat there, and that was just how it was. But what we've seen lately across the country is a trend towards having national brands on campus. All the restaurants that we have in the Student Center, the Satellite, some scattered throughout, the Rec and the Welcome Center Garage. Those places, students are now wanting to eat at regularly. And so we as a university need to meet their demands. We need to recognize that the dining program exists only to serve students. That should be the only purpose of the dining program, is to meet the needs of our community. We want to push towards offering meal plans and options that are more friendly towards what the students are actually wanting to do, which is eat at those locations. So that's just something that we're trying to, advocate for that change so that the university is on the right side of history, really. In terms of, Wi-Fi, there's a lot of stuff going on. The IT department, we said this all along, university IT is a really good department. They'll work hard. They are actively trying to figure out where and how to improve, and they have plans that we're going to talk to them about and figure out what isn't being done right now that's leaving students without some service in some areas. And then in terms of parking, this is actually a really good time because the parking department is developing their long-term plan right now. And so there's some opportunity to really advocate for some change there. And right now we're working on a proposal that's, I think right now it's about 22 pages, dealing with how can we raise revenue for the parking department, and then how can we use that new revenue to generate some new ideas. We need a preventative maintenance budget to conduct repairs on the parking lots, things of that nature. We need, we talked a lot during the campaign about having digital counters. We'd like to try to do that. We mentioned that to some administrators the other day. But all in all, a lot of it comes down to raising revenue to be able to convince them that those changes are feasible. And so that's something we're working really hard on right now.
That's great. And let's rewind a little bit. Why did you run for student body president in the first place? What really made you run for the position?
Sure. I feel like the things that I wanted to do were not going to be done by someone else. I felt like there were needs that the students were talking about that they desired that weren't necessarily on the minds of other people. And I thought, that by assembling, such a great team that we had for the election, that, they would really be able to make a difference. A lot of those people are very dedicated to the university already. And so I thought we had really unique plans that other people wouldn't execute. And so I thought it was something that we should do.
How will, how will your administration differ from previous administrations?
There's a lot there. Every president, of course, has new ideas, and and makes changes. One of my first big changes, I made an adjustment to the cabinet, the presidential cabinet, which is a board of advisors that is on the executive branch that conducts a lot of the work that you see from the executive branch there. One of the big changes I made, I created a new position that was a full-time cabinet position, the director of research. And that was a change. And the goal behind that was to be really informed when we make decisions. So, the director of research helps me out by conducting research on other universities, what are they doing, looking into the impacts of things, polling students to try to connect more with students and figure out what they really want us to do. And so, that position I think is going to be crucial throughout the year. So I think that's just one example of how things will be different. Just in general, I like to do things differently and try to find new ways to tackle problems that we've had for a long time.
Now, we know that move out week is coming up. It will be next week. And most students will be returning back to campus in the fall unless they're attending summer school. But of course, a lot of our freshmen will be joining us in the fall. And when we return back in August, a presidential election will be looming over our heads. November, of course, is when election day is. As student body president, will you take it upon yourself to make sure that most of our students are not only aware of the election process, but are just registered to vote?
I think that's something that, we would like to do. We'd like to get more college students voting. Our Director of External Affairs, it will be registering voters and working on bringing in organizations to register voters. So it's certainly important to engage our students in the community and give them a chance to speak for the president that they'd like to have. We would be hopeful that students would take notice of that.
That's great. Would you have a message for students that you've been always wanting to get off of your heart, or just for incoming freshmen that you want them to hear, a message from President Smith?
Sure. I think it's really important to understand that, SGA exists to really advocate for, the opinions and the needs of our student body. And so obviously for that to happen, we have to know what those needs and opinions are. And so that's where we really, really like to hear from students. We have an office in the Student Center North on the second floor. We leave the door open most of the day, so, students can come on in, they can email us. They can easily find our email online. It's just sga@uh.edu. There's so many ways to get engaged. We have a Facebook that we're constantly trying to promote. For us, it's just about finding new ways to outreach to students to figure out, really what's going on and what we can do to help. Because, that's our job, and that's what we're here for.
That's great. Well, there you've heard it from the 53rd President, Shane Smith. Remember to like us on Facebook, CoogTV, and to follow us on Twitter @UHSVN. I'm Matthew Stell with CoogTV. Your school, your story.